Hi and welcome to the second step in our 5-step mindset mastery course. So yesterday we touched on the daily affirmations, where these are statements you want to write down of what it is you want to achieve or what it is you want to see in yourself as an individual. So hopefully you've written that all down now, and you should have some statements that you're going to read through every morning and every evening. Now the second step we're going to go through is to understand one thing, and that failure is success and success is failure. You can't have one without the other. And I understand and I appreciate it would be nice to live in a world where failure never happens, but that's just not the case. Now, we touched on before about the reasons why people sign up to a training course is because they get sold on the results that they can achieve. And a lot of people see that is that they are guaranteed results, that you cannot fail. If you sign up for this course, you will achieve these results. But again, what you're doing there is that you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not working on the mindset that needs to be put in place for the work that's going to happen. Because regardless of how hard you try, regardless of the effort you put in, at some point you are going to fail. Now, it's better to be honest and open about it and then come up with ways and techniques to deal with the failure than just sit there and think to yourself that from point A and from point B, it's going to be nothing but smooth sailing. Well, that's just not the case. Even when I'm looking to open up the studio, the amount of failures I made along the way from opening up the studio was just remarkable. Even before the studio was an idea that I wanted to run with, I had a couple of classes in community centres, but one thing I wanted to try was to do outdoor boot camps and outdoor classes because I'll be able to fit more people in. I thought, we do it outside when we're training. People who are in the park will see what we're doing, so they probably want to come along and join in as well. What a waste of time that was, trying to do outdoor classes. I went there, did it. I had a couple of people turn up for the first one, so I thought, okay, we'll do another one. We did another class, pouring down with rain. My phone was just kicking off with text messages. All of a sudden, people were busy when the night it happened to be raining. I went to do another session and it was just people there already having a picnic, and I'm trying to have to say to them, look, you're going to have to move because we've got a class here, even though there's a massive park where we could train anywhere. It's just a nightmare. But that was one avenue that I went down to try and get my business up and running that I just failed at. It just completely failed. But I didn't give up and I carried on working, and then a couple of years later the opportunity to open up the facility came about, and this is where I am now. And it's just the same as when you jump on a scale. When you jump on a scale and you don't get the results you're looking for, so you've put on weight, you may have stayed the same, or you've only dropped down just a tiny fraction, you may be there and think to yourself, well, look, I've failed, I've messed up, I haven't got the results that I've been looking for. But failure only happens when you stop doing the work. Because with a lot of people, they see success as achieving something in the absence of failure. Whereas not true at all. Success is achieving something in the presence of failure, but refusing to give up and refusing to give in. So we go back to the example now of you jumping on the scale, you've put on weight, you stayed the same, you haven't lost as much as you thought, all right, fine, you failed. In that particular moment, you have failed. Now, if you then go and stop your training, stop your nutrition, and just stop everything, and you've given up, then you have failed. You have failed. However, if you jump on the scale, haven't lost the weight you were looking for, you maybe put on a little bit or you stayed the same, but then you say to yourself, right, okay, this next week coming up, I'm even cleaner on my nutrition and I'm going to try and fit in an extra trainer session if I can. You failed initially, but then you understand that as long as you keep on going, that failure is completely irrelevant. But if you hit that failure and you stop, then that failure is a massive mountain that you just was not able to overcome. So failure is going to be part of it. So instead of painting a pretty picture that everything's just going to be smooth sailing, point A to point B, it's just easy work, that doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. So paint a picture that's going to be truthful, and that's you are going to fail, you are going to stumble, you are going to jump on the scale and not get the results you're looking for, but then nobody ever does. So the second thing we need to get put in place to understand that our mindset is in the right place is that failure is part of success. And success is failure. You can't have one without the other. So understand that when you do fail, don't worry about it because it's all part of the process. And that failure becomes irrelevant if you carry on working afterwards. That's the key. Now it goes along with the golden rule that I've always applied to myself, and that is regardless of how many times I fall down, I will always rise once more. Now if you have that golden rule embedded in your mindset, that regardless of how many times you screw up, you mess up, you fail, you will always stand up and get back to work one more time, then you're always going to achieve what you want in life, because you understand that failure is all part of the process, it's all part of the journey. And the other good thing about failure as well is that you learn more from failure than you do from your successes. So always see failure as an opportunity to learn. So the exercises that you need to do today is, first of all, watch the video below where there's a TED talk and the gentleman talks about the positive things you can get from failure. Once you've done that, there's a document for you to download which you can find on the email I sent for today's course, and on that document will be questions for you to answer. Now the questions that you need to answer are going to be, what failures can you experience on this process that you're on? And with this process, I mean, are you looking just to lose weight? Are you looking to increase your fitness levels? Or are you generally looking for a change in your lifestyle? So write down all the potential failures that you can face. Then number them in a score between 1 and 10. 1 being there's a very, very slim chance it's going to happen. 10 being it's guaranteed it's going to be happening as well. And again, be honest, how likely is it that these failures will come up along this process? And then once you've done your chart from 1 to 10, write down, are you willing to accept these failures being part of the process? Because remember, failure is all part of it. So are you willing to accept this failure? Once you've answered that question, then go to the final part, which is to write down, what are you going to do when you experience that failure? What are you going to do when that experience pops up? How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to hold yourself? Are you going to be composed? Or are you just going to see it as the final nail in the coffin and give up? How are you going to deal with it? And then once you've done that, then you should have a list of all the failures you could potentially deal with. How are you going to deal with them, and whether or not you're willing to accept them or not. So guys, thank you very much for your time today. Again, the main thing we're taking from today's video is that failure is part of success. So don't ever be worried or scared of failure, okay? Guys, thanks for your time, and keep an eye out for the email tomorrow. We'll be going through the 3rd step in our 5-step mindset mastery course. Thank you very much, guys. Speak to you soon. Cheers.